The moment she picked up that pickaxe, no one could have guessed her story would end in so much controversy, so much pain, and a nation divided. Karla was born in Houston, Texas in 1959, the illegitimate daughter of a firefighter with a childhood riddled with instability and neglect, small-town troubles swelling into big-time pain. She dropped out of school early, spiraled into addiction, and soon found herself on a path that led out of control fast. In 1983, Karla was just 23, but her life was already a mess. On June 13th of that year, after a cocaine-fueled party, she and her boyfriend, a man named Daniel Garrett, found themselves roaming Houston in search of something: money, thrill, escape. They ended up at the apartment of Jerry Dean and Deborah Ruth Thornton, an elderly couple who had no idea their lives were about to be shattered. What began as a burglary quickly morphed into something horrifying. Using a key that Karla found on a friend's clothes, they let themselves into the bedroom of the couple. Karla grabbed a pickaxe, a heavy, brutal tool that would soon wield unimaginable violence. She put it to Jerry Dean's head, threatening him with cold words, "Don't move, motherfucker, or you're dead." Her voice reportedly held a chilling calmness as she struck him over and over again. What's shocking is Karla revealed later that the act of striking Dean gave her a twisted kind of pleasure, a terrifying mix of violence and gratification. When she saw Deborah Thornton cowering nearby, Karla didn't hesitate. The pickaxe came down again, brutal and fast. Their accomplice, Daniel Garrett, followed with a hammer, finishing off the victims. The horror was so intense that it's almost hard to picture. Two innocent people butchered in their own home, with the instruments of crime still dripping with blood. After the murders, they tried to cover their tracks, disposing of the victims El Camino and leaving the scene. Their recklessness led Garrett's brother to secretly record Karla boasting about the crime, a confession that played a key role at the trial. Both Karla and Garrett were arrested, confessing the brutality and detailing every horrifying blow. At trial in 1984, the jury heard every gruesome detail during a case that riveted Texas. Karla and Daniel were convicted of capital murder, but Garrett later died in prison from liver disease before facing execution. For Karla, the verdict was death by lethal injection, a sentence that would come after more than a decade of legal battles. While on death row, Karla was assigned inmate number 777, housed at Mountain View Unit in Gatesville, Texas. Her time there was no ordinary prison sentence. Something changed, a complex transformation unfolded. Karla became a born-again Christian, underwent a spiritual awakening, and expressed sincere remorse for the crime she committed. She sought forgiveness, not just from God but from the families she hurt. Her conversion turned her case from a straightforward murder story into a national debate about justice and redemption. Advocates for clemency, including Sister Helen Prejean, Pope John Paul II, and many activists against the death penalty, campaigned fervently to save her life. Her story exposed the contradictions and challenges of the Texas death penalty system. Still, Karla was relentless in her appeals for clemency, asking then-Governor George W. Bush for mercy. But she also insisted that her gender should not protect her, that justice should apply equally, no matter who you are. This earned respect even among some opponents. Her petitions were denied one after another. On February 3, 1998, Karla's last day arrived. She was flown from her death row prison to the Huntsville unit in Texas for execution. Her last meal was simple: a banana, a peach, and a garden salad with ranch dressing, a stark contrast to the violence of her last hours. She chose 4 witnesses to be by her side: her sister Carrie Weeks, her husband Dana Brown, her close friend Jackie Onken, and Ronald Carlson, a man who had once supported her execution but later opposed all executions after his own religious conversion. Families of the victims were also present, adding to an atmosphere heavy with grief, tension, and conflicting emotions. In the death chamber, Karla's final words resonated with sorrow and faith. "Yes, sir, I would like to say to all of you, the Thornton family and Jerry Dean's family, that I am so sorry. I hope God will give you peace with this." She turned to her husband and expressed love, then looked at her friends, promising love and peace before she faced what she called Jesus now. As the lethal injection began, Karla remained composed, humming softly, looking toward the ceiling, even as the deadly chemicals coursed through her veins. She gasped and coughed twice but was pronounced dead 8 minutes later at 6:45 p.m. Central Standard Time. Her execution marked a grim milestone. Karla Faye Tucker was the first woman executed in Texas since Chipita Rodriguez in 1863 during the Civil War, and only the second woman executed in the U.S. since the 1976 reinstatement of the death penalty. The media frenzy was massive. More than 200 journalists from around the world crowded the Walls Unit prison grounds, while supporters of capital punishment and abolitionists clashed in heated protests outside. What's remarkable is how Karla's story didn't end with her death. It sparked endless conversations about crime, punishment, forgiveness, and the human capacity for change. Is justice served by execution? Can someone truly be redeemed? Did Karla deserve mercy or her ultimate fate? Her ex-husband once said she always believed she was destined for fame. And even though her name carries the weight of her crimes, it also carries the weight of that complicated legacy. Questions that remain unresolved to this day. Karla's story is a brutal reminder. Redemption is complicated, justice is messy, and sometimes the line between victim and villain is blurred. If you want to know more tales that explore the darkest corners of humanity with all their gritty truth and drama, hit that subscribe button now, and the next story awaits.